Hello guys, it's Babs Michael here again. This is a segment of the Babs Michael show where we answer the questions, we respond to questions. So if you have any questions, you can send it in. You can send it on our Instagram, you can send it on Facebook. Just look at the Babs Michael show, and you can send it in on some phone numbers attached to our social media details. Okay, so somebody asked this question directly, and he was asking what's the difference between confidence and pride. So I'm going to take time to break these terminologies down. We'll say these characteristics: confidence and pride. What I would do is to expand confidence into self-confidence over confidence, then we jump into pride, because a lot of people have been using these as factors to define people wrongly, or sometimes rightly. So you need to understand when you're showing confidence, and when do you think you are showing overconfidence, and when do you think pride has set in. I'll start with a dictionary meaning. Confidence basically is talking about believing in oneself and one's abilities. It is a conviction that you can meet life challenges academically, financially, every aspect, talent-wise. You can handle difficult situations and you can achieve your goals. That's confidence to believe. So some confidence levels are low. You might not have confidence in yourself financially because you're not making money. So what do? You develop abilities to make money, then you have confidence in yourself. Academically, you might be struggling with passing your examination, so you might not have confidence in yourself when you have exams to do. So what do? You study, and people encourage you and build your confidence. Talent-wise, I've seen a lot of people that said I want to be an MC, and I've been able to coach a few of them to develop their confidence. So what happened now? They can now go and stand in front of an audience, an anchor event. They build their confidence. But it gets to a time that there are some events they cannot undo at a time. So they are still not having that confidence level, But when you are not yet there and you're claiming you are there, that becomes overconfidence. For someone that you've trained that can make a jump around and anchor an event of 100, you now have an event of 1,000. But you are not sound yet, but you believe you can. No matter how they say, this is how you handle, you say, I've learned enough. So overconfidence is doing more than you can do, trying to sound more than you can do. But self-confidence is normal, a quite realistic inner awareness that you can rely on your skills. That's self-confidence. You believe in yourself. So when self-confidence is not well managed, it becomes overconfidence. Overconfidence becomes negative. Self-confidence becomes positive. Nobody tell you you have self-confidence and you didn't work. No, self-confidence means you believe in yourself, and most self-confidence give positive results. But when it doesn't give a positive result, it becomes overconfidence. That means you believe more than your capability, and because of that, you execute less. And people now say, and it sounded as if he knows what he's doing. That is overconfidence, which is different from self-confidence. So self-confidence is realistic. So normally we're supposed to develop our self-confidence, and over time we'll be getting better. But when you're not there yet, and you're not acting that you're there, so they say, okay, you need to prepare for this exam. You now sound, no, I've done something like this before, and you now go and fail. What do you say? You say, overconfidence killed me. So overconfidence normally brings negative results. Self-confidence is positive, because I love your self-confidence. Result is positive. The outcome is negative, it becomes like overconfidence. You can have trust in others, that's also confidence. But I think the focus of this question is more about believing in yourself, self-confidence, and trying to see when does pride set in. Now, when you have an unrealistic or excessive amount of confidence in yourself, is what we call overconfidence, like I said. It basically occurs when your certainty is not justified by the fact of the situation. You're not certain, but you believe you can do it. But what happened? The result becomes negative. Now, what is now pride? Pride is now like a sense. Pride in a normal sense might be used not in terms of negatives, a deep sense of satisfaction, self-respect. So sometimes pride is like, I respect myself. You don't have money, they say, come and take this money. You say, I'm not going to go. People say, you are proud. Come and take this money and solve your problem. He said, no. Is that negative in that process? It's not negative. It's like self-respect. I respect myself. I can come down to get that money. It is still pride. Because you don't want to it is sometimes connected to value defaults. You just don't want to do that. But pride in terms of execution is more of your strength. You have developed that capacity you can do this, so no one can correct you. So it is still about self-respect. But when it sounds negative, it's more you can no longer listen. And that is the pride that results into damnation. The pride that results into failure at the long run, because you no longer listen. You believe now you have everything that you need to do, but there is no how you cannot keep learning. So pride will make you not to listen any longer. Then you just want to be yourself. That is the pride that results, it bridges the gap between healthy self-worth and self-confidence. The pride that bridges the gap between your healthy self-worth and self-confidence. There is a gap there. That is the gap of learning. The gap between healthy self-worth and confidence, it is a space to learn. When you close that space, your pride level increase. That's fact. Let me tell you again. Pride comes in when there is a bigger space. The bigger the space between your healthy self-worth and confidence. If that space keeps expanding, you have pride, and your pride begins to increase. Everybody have one iota identity of pride, because there's a space. You have a self-worth, self-belief, and there's a confidence level. So the closer the space, the lesser your pride. The bigger the space, the more you are. People begin to see that it is identified, you're proud. Because you just believe so much in yourself, you don't want to listen. That space is for learning. So when you stop learning and you just keep acting based on who you are, I'm rich enough. But you know that poor people can actually be proud. That's why I'm saying that pride might not be negative, it might be value default. You see some people that they don't even have confidence to sell, but they are proud. Meaning they just don't want to listen. They don't want to be corrected. They just want to be who they are. So that is when pride sets in. Excess of it can manifest as arrogance. They become arrogant when it becomes excess. So there is a measurement of pride in that space that I mentioned. When it goes into excess, become excessive, then it becomes arrogant and it can become extremely negative. So check yourself from a confidence level, self-confidence, overconfidence, and is it getting to where people say you're proud? Sometimes when you talk down on people. Knowing you're unknowing because you believe you're in charge. But there's a space to learn between your self-worth and your confidence. If that space gets lesser, your pride level is low. But when it gets increased, your pride level is high. So I think I'll be able to answer this question. Just to pause between confidence and pride. Understand your self-confidence level. Don't turn it into overconfidence. Just believe in yourself and be growing like that. And if you can manage it, it will not return into pride. Thank you for listening. Till I see you next again, I remain Babs Michael. Bye-bye for now.